I saw a post the other day from the YouTuber Incognito Society where she detailed the importance of talking to young people in your life about the warning signs and red flags that someone they're interacting with online might actually be trying to lure them or hurt them. And while I agree with basically every single word she wrote, it's actually pretty upsetting to me that things like this are being left on the shoulders of users and parents and not the companies providing these platforms. We don't have to have conversations with minors about not buying alcohol at the bar because there are laws set up that protect them from that. And the conversations that people are having with young people about the dangers of talking with people they don't know is almost immediately challenged by the very idea of what social media even is. Because at its heart, it's all about interacting with people that you don't know.
One click of the mouse, Kristen Pratt opened the door to a nightmare
We need to talk face to face, or I'm gonna be dead!
and set in motion a 2-year ordeal that placed her in constant fear for her life. Kristen was a college student in Florida when she was contacted through Facebook by Patrick Mashoni, a classmate from high school, living in the same town, looking to catch up.
I didn't even notice he was in the class with me. It wasn't until later when I went to college that I got a Facebook message from someone who said they were in this class, and that would be Patrick. First couple of messages were great, just like two friends or two people just catching up. Then after the first 3 or 4 messages, things got excessive. The messages got very weird.
Why do I like you? I don't know. Because you sat in a class and did this. I have no idea why I like you. I don't even know you.
When this starts going on, you're just kind of thinking, all right, it'll go away. But it doesn't go away. It just keeps going and gets worse.
I've been sent on a mission to make Kristen Pratt feel warm and fuzzy.
Kristen knew she needed help.
And when I first called the police, they said, well, does he know where you work? And I said, no. And they said, does he know where you live? And I said, no. And they said, nothing we can do. And they left.
Email me today. It's up to you now. Save your own life.
The cyber stalking intensified.
You don't want me for a life, Kristen Pratt? That's a very, very unwise decision.
Many of his messages involved twisted fantasies.
I want to tie your wrists together, strip you naked, secure your arms above your head, blindfold you.
Other posts made Kristen's blood run cold.
Don't make me do something stupid.
She finally got an injunction.
Did he ever abide by the injunction?
No.
Whatever you want, whatever makes you happy, that's what I want.
It didn't matter how many legal things I did or anything. He just saw it as an obstacle in his way that he had to overcome. And he would overcome them every time. He would just be like, hey, I'm here.
I'm here, I'm not going anywhere.
According to him, if we're supposed to be together, none of this is wrong.
All right, Kristen, look, all I'm asking, so let me over one night. You can't keep ignoring me. You can't.
Mashoni started showing up at Kristen's work and on the campus of her college. Desperate, she began altering her appearance in hopes that he wouldn't find her.
How often were you changing your look?
Probably once every 2 months, maybe even more than that sometimes.
Ever get up one day, leave the house, and think to yourself, this could be my last day. This could be the day Patrick actually does me harm.
All the time.
Quit wasting my time.
I knew it was just a matter of time.
Look me in the eye and talk to me like a person.
Then, an unexpected turn. While on patrol, Sergeant Mark Conway spotted Mashoni with the backpack acting suspicious. Mike Hallfeld from our Orlando affiliate WKMG caught up with Conway.
I thought I had a car burglar, and when I opened the backpack, I thought I would find maybe stolen car stereos or GPSs in there.
Instead, he found Mashoni's camera and was treated to a frightening glimpse inside the stalker's dark obsession.
Oh man, please just listen to me. I never wanted to be mean or say anything mean.
You know, the videos worried me, and he kept referring to this girl named Kristen. I had no idea who she was.
A quick search of Mashoni's record and Sergeant Conway found injunctions, police reports, and Kristen.
I get a phone call from Sergeant Conway, and he's asking me these questions, and he's wanting to know what's going on. And so I tell him the whole story. And he said, this man's gonna kill you. And I said, that's what I've been trying to tell everybody, but nobody wants to help me.
Digging deeper, Conway found video of Mashoni prowling outside Kristen's workplace and immediately presented the case to the state's attorney.
Over the years, it's been argued that social media is one of the more dangerous things humanity has ever created, mostly because all of this, things like YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, sharing every detail of what we do and what we think, all of this is a new thing, and we have no idea how it's going to turn out in the long run. Never in humanity's history have all of us been so connected, and maybe it's time that we at least start having discussions about what all of that could mean, because the ideas and advice that used to work, they don't apply in the same way they once did.
The reason that I'm here today is not just to tell another scary story. I'm not here to be a part of another PSA. I'm here because social media is something that we have never worked with before. It's relationships that we've never experienced before. And we have to start talking about how we can use them correctly. I was on the varsity swim team, varsity cross country team. I would go out with my friends every weekend. I had excellent friends, people that I still love and talk to today. When I graduated high school, I had 9 AP credits. School had always kind of been important to me. There was a bad breakup towards the end of the first semester of my senior year, and my friends were sick of me complaining, and they told me about this app called Tinder. My third match, this girl seemed fine. She seemed great. She looked terrific. Totally normal, talking to her. We had a few things in common, and she invited me over, and so I thought I might as well go over. And she had told me before that her dad might be home, so I had to kind of come up quietly. And when I walked up to the door, she opened it, and she did not look like she did in the pictures. Completely different. I was really surprised, but I still sort of felt obligated to go inside and to at least talk to her. I felt like after talking the way that we had, I had to at least sort of, see how it would go. And when I stepped through the door, to the right of me was an older man with a shotgun. And he led me into the bedroom over at the left. I was dumbfounded. I couldn't speak. I just got quiet. I wasn't sure, if I was going to get out of it, but if I were going to, I had to find some way to do that. First, he had me undressed, and I was sexually assaulted.
Perhaps the biggest problem is that not allowing young people access to the internet just isn't a reasonable thing anymore. In fact, it's basically impossible. All of this is becoming more and more integrated into basically every aspect of our lives. Everyone, for the most part, has a personal computer with them in their pocket at all times. A massive part of how life functions now revolves around a digital world, and not allowing young people the ability to understand how it all works would basically be setting them back apart from all of their peers. But the only options that we have shouldn't be denying them access or risking things like this.
Parenting has never been easy, but it seems in the digital age, we have more blind spots to worry about. Tonight, Yahoo Global News anchor Katie Couric takes a look at a high-profile tragedy and gives us an inside glimpse at the secret world of teens and social media.
Nicole was a very lovable person. Tammy Weeks was facing the unimaginable. Her 13-year-old daughter had been found dead.
Nicole touched many people throughout her short life.
Murder of a 13-year-old girl making national headlines.
The search for answers is just beginning.
The reaction to her murder has become part of a national conversation about girls and social media. Nicole had secretly been messaging with this Virginia Tech student, 18-year-old David Eisenhower, on the social media app Kik. According to investigators, they say that one night last month, Nicole snuck out of her parents' house to meet up with Eisenhower and never returned home. She was missing for 3 days until her body was discovered 80 miles away.
A very preliminary determination of the cause of death is stabbing.
Nicole's story has become a cautionary tale about the dangers of secret messaging apps and their anonymous users.
I'm willing to say Kik is the devil for young children because it's like a free ability to text anything you want, and parents can't see the phone numbers that are coming in and out.
Eisenhower and an alleged female accomplice are now accused of the kidnapping and murder of Nicole Lovell. Neither has entered a plea. Nicole's father and stepmother sat down with 2020.
I just wish I would have been there for my daughter because she deserved me to be there and I wasn't.
Nicole Lovell's family believes she turned to social media for acceptance after she was severely bullied in school.
Yeah, she had a huge, boy crush kind of thing, but in the same sense, it was kind of innocent, because she was still a child, and all she wanted was just the attention.
We reached out to the people who run Kik, and they told us, we have zero tolerance for any behavior that potentially affects the safety of our users. We offer blocking and reporting tools to allow users to flag unwanted content or contact. We are also reviewing all aspects of safety across the company.
When this case surfaced, a lot of parents that I know said, "Have you heard of Kik?" Yes, from every single girl that I've interviewed, because it's so much a part of their culture.
But those secret apps are just part of the story. Nancy Jo Sales has been reporting on youth culture for more than a decade. In Sales' new book, American Girls, Social Media and the Secret Lives of Teenagers, she explores the dangers of coming of age in a world ruled by social media.
Tell me about the role this is playing in the life of the average teenage girl in this country.
One of the first conversations that I had with some girls in Los Angeles really set the tone for the whole book to me. She said, social media is destroying our lives. And I said, so why don't you just go off it? And she said, because then we would have no life.
As any content creator can tell you, YouTube can identify and basically instantly flag a video using a 2-second clip from some obscure movie or song made in 1992, but it just can't seem to catch the absolutely horrid things that are somehow allowed on this platform and basically every single other app and platform. And I think the answer to that is pretty obvious. Because the simple fact is that things like secret messenger apps designed to hide messages from parents, those apps are geared directly at young people. These companies are fully aware of what they're doing, and there's absolutely no standard they're being held to. They can just do whatever they want. The tools and community guidelines that these companies put up are basically just a facade, and they're never enforced, unless, of course, you post a 2-second song or movie clip, because that belongs to a major company with a ton of money, and all of a sudden, it's taken really seriously.
Tonight, here a warning about Facebook and what some believe it's doing to kids. The warning comes from two of the company's earliest executives. Carter Evans is following this.
We kind of knew something bad could happen.
Chamath Palihapitiya, a former Facebook executive once in charge of user growth, now says he has tremendous guilt about the social network he helped build.
We have created tools that are ripping apart the social fabric of how society works.
And it's influencing the next generation. Studies show 92% of teens go online daily, and 1 in 5 young people regularly wake up in the night to send or check messages on social media.
People need to hard break from some of these tools and the things that you rely on. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works. No civil discourse, no cooperation, misinformation, mistruth. Bad actors can now manipulate large swaths of people to do anything you want.
He's not the only social media executive blowing the whistle. Former Facebook president Sean Parker recently said the initial goal was to get people hooked.
You're exploiting a vulnerability in human psychology. The inventors, creators understood this consciously, and we did it anyway.
We have to hold the tech industry accountable.
Jim Steyer is founder of Common Sense Media.
They, in many cases, have ignored the consequences, some of the downsides of some of the innovations they brought to our society.
You don't realize it, but you are being programmed. It was unintentional, but now you got to decide how much you're willing to give up.
I just can't help but feel like all of this isn't going to get better. It's going to get much worse as time goes on. The world around us is changing very quickly, and I'm not opposed to change, but you shouldn't have to potentially risk your life or your children's lives because you don't want to deny them a normal life in the world we live in today. There needed to be a serious conversation about the dangers of social media years ago. Laws should have been set up that forced companies to provide safe platforms for their users because just like a kid can't go into a bar and buy a beer, they shouldn't be able to walk through the digital doors of another company where it's free reign on them to be preyed on by monsters. We don't let criminals buy guns. Why are we allowing offenders like this unrestricted access to countless potential victims? But in the end, that's not where we're at right now. So I've left some links in the description of this video that go over some of the steps that you and your family can take to better protect yourself when you're online. And as always, thank you so much for watching.